Hi, Joe Pepraki from Loyola Press for Pop-Up Prayer. And today our guest is Dr. Andy Kereky, a retired pastoral minister who designed and continues to lead children's retreats based on the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius. Hi, Dr. Andy. How are you?
Hi, Joe. I'm doing great, and thank you so much for having me on with you. I appreciate that.
Thanks so much for being here and for visiting our planet. I love your background. It's really something. Andy, let
Right.
me ask you this. What particular gifts and traits make children receptive to the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius?
Sure. Joe, I found over the years that I've been doing these that children are naturally creative, they're imaginative, and they enjoy trying something new. And one of the aspects of the spiritual exercises is praying the Gospels with the imagination, and children excel at that because their imagination is so vibrant, and they just love being creative that way.
That is one of the wonderful things about children. They're so
Oh,
imaginative that
they are.
there's no limit to that. So, Andy, what adjustments do you find yourself having to make when you're praying with children and bringing in the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius, which can be very structured?
Yeah, and it can be. And I found over the 15 years that I've been doing this that I need to be very flexible. I need to be patient, and I need to use repetition with the children to emphasize and continually emphasize some of the aspects of the spiritual exercises, like praying with the Bible, praying with the imagination, praying backwards through your day. So I have to be patient with them because they're not always where I want them to be. But I need to be flexible in different ways to get the points across.
That's such a good point because, with adults, you can often just sort of, go with the program. With children, you get thrown so many curveballs, right? Because
Absolutely
of their
right.
age they're at or what they're dealing with that day. So flexibility, patience. What other advice do you have, Andy, for our viewers about praying with children in an Ignatian style or even trying to bring in the spiritual exercises if they want to go that far?
Hmm. I found that when the parent is showing that they have a vibrant prayer life, they become a role model for the children, and that the child is even more likely to engage in what I am sharing with them because it's just a different way of praying, and it's going to enhance their prayer life. And when I do the spiritual exercises for the adults, at the same time as the children, especially when there are some parents in it, I keep them in parallel so that there's an opportunity for them to do faith sharing together in the family. I think ideally, if the student and the parent can do the spiritual exercises together as a family, that's the best of all worlds because they're experiencing it together and they're deepening their prayer life together.
Andy, that's great advice. I'm fascinated by the concept. I'm going to research more into you to find out about this idea of doing spiritual exercises with children. But in the meantime, thanks so much for sharing these insights and strategies about praying with children and especially linked with the spiritual exercises.
All right. And thank you for having me, Joe. I appreciate it.
And thank you to all of you for joining us on Pop-Up Prayer. I'm Joe Pepraki from Loyola Press, and until next time, God bless.